Look at your hands. Seriously, look at them. Right now, they are probably holding a piece of glass and plastic, scrolling through someone else's simulated reality, looking for a spark. A temporary chemical hit to make you forget that you are slowly, quietly drowning in your own potential. Let's skip the fake, high-energy garbage today. I'm not here to yell at you. I'm not here to tell you that you're a champion or that the universe has a magical plan for you. The universe doesn't care. The universe is completely indifferent to whether you wake up tomorrow or you don't. But here is the brutal truth you are running away from. Nobody is coming to save you. Your parents can't do it for you. Your friends are too busy trying to survive their own quiet desperation. And that perfect moment you've been waiting for, the day when you suddenly feel ready, when the energy is just right, when your mental health is perfectly aligned and the sky clears up, it doesn't exist. It's a ghost you've been chasing so you can excuse your own cowardice. Every time you say, "I'll start next Monday," or "I just need a break today," a small piece of your self-respect dies. You are actively training your brain to become a professional quitter. You are building a monument to your own mediocrity, brick by brick, excuse by excuse. Think about the version of you that could exist 6 months from now. That person isn't a myth. They are a statistical probability. But right now, you are murdering that person before they even have a chance to breathe. All because you prefer the warm, rotting comfort of your current prison. If you want to close this video, close it. Go back to the shorts. Go back to the mindless dopamine loops. But if you stay, understand one thing. The next 6 months are not about self-improvement. They are a funeral for the person you used to be. Let's talk about why you are actually miserable. It's not because your life is hard. Human beings are built to endure hardship. We survived ice ages, famines, and plagues. What we cannot survive is meaninglessness. You are miserable because you are living a life of zero friction. Think about the Eren Yeager, Guts, and all the other characters we watch in fiction who capture our souls. Why do we rewatch their stories when our own lives feel empty? Because they possess something you've traded away for comfort, a burning, unyielding will. They don't look at a mountain and wait for it to move. They break their knuckles against the stone until the mountain splits. But look at you. You get a mildly critical text message from your crush, and your entire week is ruined. You feel a slight wave of boredom, and you immediately reach for your phone to numb it. You have become a slave to your own fleeting emotional states. If you only work when you feel motivated, you will only work about 3 days a month. And 3 days a month is how you build a life of regret. We live in a world designed to keep you weak. Every algorithm, every app, every fast food chain is engineered to strip away your executive function. They want you compliant. They want you soft. Because soft people are easy to sell things to. Soft people don't ask questions. Soft people don't change the world. They just consume it until they die. So, the next 6 months are your declaration of independence from that system. To lock in doesn't mean you just work harder. It means you become a ghost to the modern world. It means you go dark. When you decide to truly lock in, the first thing you will experience is not success. It is isolation. And this is where 99% of people fail, because they mistake isolation for loneliness. In the anime Vinland Saga, Thorfinn spends years in the mud, consumed by a single, blinding purpose. He doesn't care about comfort. He doesn't care about small talk. He doesn't care about fitting in. He is entirely consumed by his path. And When you choose this path for the next 6 months, your social circle will shrink. People will tell you that you've changed. They will say you're being too distant or that you're taking things too seriously. But understand this psychological reality. When you start changing, the people around you will get uncomfortable. Not because they hate you, but because your progress acts as a mirror to their own stagnation. Your discipline highlights their laziness. To protect their own egos, they will try to pull you back down into the crab bucket. So remember, you must be ruthless. You need to build a wall around your mind. If a relationship, a conversation, or a habit doesn't contribute to the monument you are building over the next 180 days, it must be burned. No compromises, no cheat days. Now, let's talk about pain. You've been taught to avoid it. You've been conditioned to think that if something hurts, if something feels heavy or exhausting, it means something is wrong. That is a lie. Pain is simply a transaction. Everything in this life costs something. You want an average, comfortable life? The price is long-term regret, an annoying sense of unfulfillment, and the knowledge that you died with your potential still inside you. But if you want a legendary life, the price is short-term pain, mental exhaustion, and the willingness to look at failure repeatedly without blinking. Choose your poison. You are going to suffer either way. Think of it like a blacksmith forging a blade. A piece of iron doesn't become steel by sitting in a temperate room. It is shoved into a furnace of blinding heat. It is beaten violently with a heavy hammer until its old shape is completely shattered. Only then, through that violent, unforgiving process, does it acquire an edge sharp enough to cut through anything. For the next 6 months, you are the iron, and your daily routine is the hammer. When you wake up at 5 a.m. and your eyes are heavy, that burning sensation in your chest isn't a signal to sleep in. That is the hammer falling. When you are staring at a screen or a textbook at hour 6 of a deep work session and your brain feels like it's short-circuiting, that is the furnace heating up. Do not ask for a lighter load. Ask for a stronger back. But here lies a question. How do you actually execute this? Because motivation is a feeling, and feelings are fickle. We need a system, a cold, mechanical, undeniable system. For the next 180 days, your life must be reduced to 3 distinct domains: the vision, the execution, and the void. And here comes the explanation of these mighty domains. 1. The vision. You cannot fight a war without a map. So before you sleep tonight, write down exactly what victory looks like on June 31st. Do not confusing. Don't say, I want to be rich, or I want to be in shape. Write down numbers, write down skills, write down the exact amount of work hours you will put in, because if your goal cannot be measured, it cannot be achieved. 2. The execution. Every single morning, before you touch your phone, before you check a notification, before you let the outside world inject its poison into your brain, you must perform your early hour. 60 minutes of uninterrupted, high-leverage work on your primary goal. No music with lyrics, no distractions, just you and the work. If you win the first hour of the day, you win the psychological war for the remaining 23 hours. 3. The void. This is your rest time, but don't spend it doing nothing. When you finish your work for the day, do not immediately jump into distractions. Just sit in the quiet space. Walk without headphones and let your brain process the stress. Allow yourself to be bored, because it is during this quiet time your mind resets and builds the strength you need to wake up and do your best again tomorrow. Look at the legendary figures of history. or the grandest arcs in storytelling. In Naruto, when Sasuke leaves the village to seek power, or when Zoro trains under Mihawk for 2 very painful years, they didn't send updates. They didn't post on their stories. They didn't look for validation. They went completely dark, and when they emerged, they were entirely different entities. And now, we are reaching the end of this grand speech, and this is the exact moment where your brain will try to play its final trick on you. Right now, you might feel a slight chill down your spine. You might feel a sudden burst of resolve. You might think, yes, this is it. I'm going to change. I want you to kill that feeling right now, because that feeling will be gone by tomorrow morning. That feeling is a liar. It's a cheap dose. When the alarm goes off at dawn, when the room is cold, when your body feels heavy, that emotional fire you feel right now will be nothing but cold ashes. So, do not rely on inspiration. Inspiration is for amateurs. The elite rely on obsession. The next 6 months are going to pass, whether you like it or not. The clock is ticking right now as you listen to my voice. 180 days, 4,320 hours, 259,200 minutes. That time will slide through your fingers like sand, leaving you exactly where you are today. Or it will be the difficult test that transforms you into someone unrecognizable. Imagine yourself 6 months from now, standing in a room. The lights are dim. You look in the mirror. Your face is leaner, your eyes are harder, your mind is quiet, and your bank account, your body, your skills are a testament to the war you just fought in silence. You look back at this exact moment, this random night, this random video, and you realize this was the day you stopped playing the victim. This was the day you chose the furnace. Or you can close this tab. You can forget everything I just said. You can go back to your comfortable, slow-motion decay. You can spend the next 6 months watching other people live the life you were too terrified to fight for. The choice was never between success and failure. The choice is between the beautiful, agonizing pain of discipline or the horrific, haunting pain of regret. The clock is ticking. The world is waiting. Lock in.